Good evening and welcome to DFG's Corner. I'm DFG, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. I'm coming to you live from the 571 where I'm having fun and I'm getting things done. Tonight's show, we're going to talk a little bit about what's current events and going on. But before we go on, I want to introduce my team, especially my favorite girl, the Chocolate Pearl. Go on, Chocolate Pearl. Tell me what you got.
Hey, y'all. It's Chocolate Pearl calling you from Duval. I'm working on a different system today, so bear with me. I know I look a little grainy, but we're gonna have to deal with that today.
I got you.
How's
I
everybody
got you.
doing? How's everybody doing?
I guess they're doing okay. Today, I want to talk about, like I said, I made a little video um, this afternoon, well, this earlier today about what's been going on the last few days. If you didn't know, we're talking about the president's attack on Iran, and I'm just gonna shut my mouth and let this play.
All opinions are those of the participants making them and are not an endorsement of any position, program, religion, or political affiliation. DFG's Corner is for information, observations, and entertainment. I ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe.
The political fallout of U.S. strikes on Iran, analyzing voter perceptions, GOP divisions, and strategic calculus. Welcome to today's episode, where we're diving into the complex political consequences of the recent United States strikes on Iran. I'm DMG, and I'll walk you through how these events are shaping voter perceptions, altering the Republican Party's internal dynamics, and challenging America's strategic posture as we head toward the 2026 elections. Let's begin with how the public is viewing the administration's management of the crisis. If the conflict looks uncontrolled or reactionary, that can shake confidence in foreign policy leadership. Reporting highlights that the scale of the operation and the death of Iran's supreme leader have created significant unknowns, factors that are likely to influence voter sentiment in the months ahead. Next, I'll look at the Republican side of Congress. Some GOP candidates are rallying behind the administration's stance, while others, especially those in competitive districts, may choose to distance themselves if the conflict grows unpopular or hurts the economy. This internal friction is already shaping both primary campaigns and the general election messaging. Across multiple analyses, the strikes are being called a high risk, high reward gamble. On one hand, they demonstrate American military power and decisiveness. On the other, they open a door to unpredictable retaliation, potential regional instability, and significant domestic political repercussions. The absence of a clearly articulated long-term strategy is commonly noted as a vulnerability, and much will depend on how events unfold in the near future. Looking ahead, analysts are watching several key factors: the duration and intensity of conflict, economic indicators, and congressional dynamics, and Iran's internal response. These elements will help determine whether the Iran strikes become a political liability for the administration, a rallying point, or something more varied across different regions and voter blocs. Finally, let's examine how this situation is reshaping the Republican Party. Trump's escalation is already exposing new fault lines within the coalition. Reporting points to three major implications for the GOP as 2028 approaches, directly tied to how Republicans are responding to the conflict, the strain within their ranks, and vigorous debates over war powers that expose fractional divides. Several sources note visible internal breaks as lawmakers prepare for votes that could limit the president's authority. In summary, the fallout from the Iran strikes is rippling across U.S. politics, with the outcome still very much in flux. I'll be watching these trends closely and will bring you updates as the stories develop. Thank you for turning to my analysis. If you found this discussion helpful, don't forget to subscribe for future episodes. This is DFG. Never make love by the garden gate, so love is blind. So, Chocolate Pearl, what do you think about the video? I can't hear you.
I could
You on
barely
mute.
hear it.
Oh, my bad. I got to be smarter than the equipment. Well, basically, what it was saying is that Chocolate Pearl, what do you think about it? Hold on. Oh gosh. All right. Let's get this started. Um, the biggest issue that I had was his attack didn't make any sense because didn't last year when he attacked, didn't he say he obliterated all of their stuff?
Yes, exactly.
So if he did that, then what's the purpose of him attacking again?
It's because his numbers in the polls are shrinking. So he has to do something to be relevant, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's also a distraction, but that's another story. Big Al, what's going on, Big Al?
Fine and dandy like peppermint candy.
All right, now that's what I'm saying. You're a poet and you know it. But what is your opinion, your seasoned opinion on the attack on Iran?
Well, it's painfully obvious that he did it for two reasons. First of all, as a distraction to get us away from the Epstein files, first of all. And I think in his small little mind, this thing is going to go on, and then there's going to be a manufactured uh, attack in the United States that they're going to say Iran conducted, and that's going to give him the leverage to try to use martial law and shut things down so that there's no midterm election. You're on mute.
Exactly. You're on mute, Trey.
Yeah, I need to relax because I am off my game today. Long day at work. But anyway, no, I agree with you, Big Al. The issue is that you know the more he does that, and he basically told his base that he don't care about them because he already got their vote.
Exactly.
And on other things is that I mean, he did promise that there wasn't going to be any more wars, and he claimed to have stopped eight, but I mean, I guess I can't count because I don't see him. What do you think, Miss Kim?
I'm sorry. I have a phone call with my daughter.
Oh, handle your business. Handle your business. What, Miss Sumpson, what do you think?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey,
So
another day, another fun.
I know that's right. Uh, uh, it has just been so much with the Epstein files that I believe this man is doing everything and anything he can to distract the news and put the news into another type of subject. Um,
Oh, I agree.
yeah, I just it's just too much. And the more and what makes it even, I guess, more obvious is the fact that they're still saying that not everything was released. Now, they had up until a certain time to release everything, and they have not released everything as of yet. And so, what better way with aliens and this and all of that, than to, you know, distract us? But I got to give it to the people. They are not letting up. They just like, hit us with your best shot. You can try if you want to, but we are hell bent on getting justice for these survivors. And they are on it. They ain't letting this man breathe. So I love it. To everybody, keep up the good work. Don't let the illusions and all of this other stuff distract you, and keep demanding, justice. And I think ultimately it will eventually happen because they got their foot on his neck.
Yeah, and you know he's talking about freeing the Iranians, and yet he um he ain't trying to free Ukraine. You know what I mean? Ain't that funny? To me, it is at least.
Hilarious.
But you know, also this week, I don't know if y'all heard in Texas, there was a shooting in Austin, Texas, where a Cameroon immigrant from Cameroon had a sweatshirt saying "Property of Allah" and the radiant flag underneath his thing, and he went and he killed like 3 or 4 people. And now they're claiming it's terrorism. I'm just saying, I'm wondering if they're going to say the same thing about, you know, is he a terrorist or is he a lone wolf? You know what they're going to call him, but that's my opinion. I'm gonna stick with it. Uh, where do you think we go from here, Chocolate Pearl? I know you don't watch the news and nothing like that, but
I watch the news
so
now
what do you think?
about the whole situation, or
Yeah,
just
and going to elections,
I think what you
going into
just said
elections.
was correct. He's trying to find a way to stop the midterms because he said it multiple times, even though a couple of times he said it jokingly, but he said it multiple times that if he loses the midterms, they're going to impeach him, point blank,
Yeah,
period.
but they
So
still
he's
won't have
trying to find a
the
way to stop the midterms, and he's using these other tactics like starting a war, um, the also the the immigrants, everything that he can possibly do to distract us from the midterms, or somehow making the midterms something that we're not paying attention to. He's going to find a way. I think that's
I
how I
agree.
feel.
I agree with you. There's no argument. Big Al, what do you think 2026 looks for the GOP and for the Democrats?
Well, I am highly encouraged looking at all of these uh, incumbent races and looking at what's going on in Texas right now with the Democrats against the Republicans. And Orange Man won in Texas by over 31%. And if you're looking
Right.
at the races right now, Democrats are poised to pick up a Senate seat in totally red Texas. Looks like North Carolina is picking up another Democratic Senate seat. So I think in 2026, there's going to be a catastrophic switch in both the House and the Senate. And that would postulate us to impeach him again and to bring charges against people like Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, and all these other criminals who are part of his staff and cabinet to be able to criminally charge them and indict them.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. I was going to talk about a race in your state. Senator Ossoff is running for re-election this year.
Yes.
What are his chances?
Well, it's real tight right now. Vince Dooley, who is the son of a famous former Georgia coach, and of course Vince Dooley was a coach as well, is running
Right.
against Oscar. So it's neck and neck right now. I'm supporting him financially and any other kind of way I can, as well as Jasmine Crockett, anybody on the Democratic side. So I'm hoping and praying that Ossoff can maintain his Senate seat, because that's going to be a very critical seat. Because what he's doing is he's like Jasmine Crockett, is calling out the Epstein files, and he's calling out all these things that are being done to distract us, to undermine our democracy. I mean, he's actually calling a lot of things out, and that's getting people energized, both on the Democratic side and people who are formerly Republican, who are starting to cross over, and more importantly, independent. So I feel very optimistic about his chances of maintaining his Senate seat in November.
That's good. That's good. In your state, Chocolate Pearl, how do you think the Democrats will do in the House?
Ask Dabs about that part. Dab.
Okay, she's deferring to you, Dabs.
Okay, I hear. Um, so actually, I was going over the stuff I think last week, looking at who was running. There's still, uh, there is, it's a whole lot of, I can see changes coming, and a lot of it's about what's going on. Um, I was actually doing Uber the other day, and I was talking to this lady. We were talking about, um, DeSantis. We know he's out, so change is gonna come there, and hopefully it rolls blue. It's gonna be a tight race. There's a lot of people in it right now. Hopefully it'll dwindle down. So that's the hardest part. Is there's so many people. It just kind of it drags it out when it starts. Um,
Oh yeah.
so it's really. I'm right now. I'm just kind of waiting back to see which direction I want to go. And there's, like I said, there's probably like 15 Republicans in there right now, and I could think about 8 Democrats that I know of. But
So what do you think? What do you think, Mr. Donald's chances are to be the governor? He probably won't even get out his primary.
no, no, he ain't. He won't make it.
But that's the president's boy. That was his boy.
Right? That was his.
So he
Yeah,
wasn't.
that was his boy. And another thing, when you mentioned asking about the Democratic Party, it's the before the Democratic Party could make um, some serious moves or some serious. I mean, we got some lag, we got some drag. There's some drag, and the drag is Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. They both need to go. The Hakeem, because there's too much backlash going on with him right now, and then I don't think he sounds fired up, but I don't think he's got the right kind of fire up. So, for that party, there's got to be some leading changes in both the Senate and the House. It's got to be some changes.
Yeah, no, I got you on that. That's one of the things that when we're looking at the whole situation is that can these people actually do what they say they're going to do? And are people tired of people tired of being tired? I know the 92 and the 78%
Right? Because
are
both
we
of them,
already we're pretty much we know where they're tired, but now will MAGA and MAGA light get tired? But this is
right,
my personal opinion and not the opinion of the show. But I say the majority of people here, um, they are white before they're American.
right.
Let
Okay,
me say let me say that again.
That right there.
They they are white before they're American because and it's just and I know I get some flack on that and I'm okay with that. But I'm saying is that if the only reason you don't want something is because somebody else that doesn't look like you gets it, you're more white than you are American.
right, exactly.
If I mean, and no matter how poor you are, if you're looking, if something for you is okay, but somebody else it getting the same thing as a beggar or a thief or doesn't deserve it, you are white before you're American. And I say like this, there are white people and there are people who are white. There's a difference. It's not even semantics. White people is a personality. That's what you see. That's what you see on in the GOP side, Joe and Jane Average, and Joe and Felix and Olivia above average. But people who are white don't care about all of that. They care more about America than most of the Make American Great people do, in my opinion. And like, there's black people and there's people who are black, Asian people and people who are Asian. You get it's the person, it's not the
Mm,
color, even though we see that. And that's why I say, white people are monolithic, but people who are white are just people. And there's a difference. There are people who are um there are people who are against racism. There are people who are okay with racism as long as it doesn't affect them or someone they love. And then there's people who like John Brown. He was like, "Yo, I'm taking it to the hole," and they don't want him any more John Browns. Go ahead, Miss Sum.
No, I was just going to ask, what were your thoughts with Melania Trump at the UN
mm.
Security Council?
Well, I'm gonna say like this: it's par for his course. They use the golf parlance. It's par for his course. I mean, think about it. I mean, does he put any qualified people to do the job they're supposed to do? Name one. Name one. Name one. He had a medical doctor, a
Right.
neurosurgeon working in housing and urban development. He's got a lady that runs a WWE empire in education. He's got a guy in charge of the Department of War that I have more relevant tactical, operational, and strategic. Big Al knows what I'm talking about. Um, not only not only experience, but actual. I've been to the school. He hasn't even been to the schools I've been to. So I mean, technically, I'm more qualified than he is. But I'm not gonna. I'm not. That is he is he's in charge. I'm not gonna say a leader because there's a difference between being a leader and being in charge.
Right.
You agree with me, Big Al?
I agree with you 100%. That clown, all he does is gets up and use words that he doesn't even understand. He's always using obliterated. If you ask him what obliterated means, he
That's
couldn't.
what I was about to say. He don't even know what it means and can't even pronounce it.
But but
And
and that's not a technical military term anyway. We
right,
both Big Al and I know that. So
exactly. There you go. And precision strike, he has no idea what that is. He's just using words, and he's a.
he is that. I'll leave it at that.
And oh, by the way, he was a damn journalist during the war.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Veep, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he
he
was.
was a newscaster.
Yeah, that's we call those REMFs, but
Yeah.
REMF for you non-military folks is rear echelon mofo.
Mm.
A person who got three hots and a cot, and they're in the rear. What we say, they're in the rear with the gear. Those are the people that got those people who have combat patches, but ain't only combat they seen was to fight their way to the chow hall or to a movie.
Wow.
They have no they ain't seen no ordnance. They never seen ordnance live coming at them. I mean, of course, if you get mortared, that's everybody. But And I'm saying that like it's a normal thing, but if you haven't been in combat, you don't. It sounds awful, and it is. But if it's happened to you more than once, you get used to getting more than that between 1 and 3 a.m. It becomes something that you don't ingrain, but you it kind of gives you a different perspective on life in reality. That's the best I can put it as a retired Army officer with over 30 years of government experience. Uh, I want to talk now about what we're looking at it for the GOP in 2028. One of the things going into 2026, and we talked about that, is um three things he did that stood out. You know, he escalated the situation, but don't really have a plan. That's not how he works. There's not a he said regime change. And he did what he had to he did what he thought was right and did that. However, if you break something, the late great General Colin Powell said, if you break it, you keep it, you own it. And we've been breaking countries for years, and I don't think anybody wants to go in and break Iran again. But you know, there's no, we're gonna just drop bombs, and that's exactly what they did. And I mean, like I said, I'm not in charge, so I can criticize, but I'm not in those rooms where they're having the briefing, so I can only tell you from my experience. There's no real end game. There's no real end game with Venezuela. There's no end game. It's not even an end game with Greenland, but I digress. Um, you know, even Fox kind of blew back on him attacking Iran. It's like prolonged conflict could erode public support, especially if prices go up. Prices went up. I know in Virginia, prices on gas went up 20 cents in 2 days. I don't know. Was it like that in Florida?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's ridiculous. Um, Went to work yesterday. The gas at this particular gas station on my way to work was 289. Went today 318.
Yeah. So that's about that's about right. How about in Georgia, Big Al?
It went from 265 yesterday to 309 today.
Whew. Wow. 40 cents. 40
Yeah.
cents. Um, hey, that's my sister from the same Miss Apple. What's going on, sweetest Snapple?
Hey everybody, I'm sitting here babysitting. That's what made me so late. I apologize. I'm gonna be on mute. I just wanted to show my face, but I'm gonna be listening, but I'm gonna be on mute.
Uh, but just one question about how the gas price is looking up in the city.
Um, the last time that I checked, which was like last week, it was over $3 for sure. It's probably more now. I haven't, been to a gas station this week. But being that, the situation that we're in, I don't know exactly what y'all talking about. But I'm pretty sure it's probably like 350 by now.
The reason the price of gas went up, Apple, was the president and in a surprise to no one dropped bombs in Iran
Yeah, I know
with the
exactly. Yeah.
ex
I wasn't
so
sure if that was the topic, but I knew the reason
yeah,
why it probably went up.
we're discussing that and just talking about the election coming up in 2026 as well as 2028 after the president can't run no more. So right now I'm talking about the constitutional and governance strain on what he did. Yeah, he used the War Powers Act, but he's got to get, if he wants it any longer than 270 days, he's got to get approval from the Congress. And people in the House that are up for reelection, they're not gonna. I don't care how red you are, you're not gonna push that gets prices to go up with food and fuel and um you know and things like that. So even with his base, they're gonna, they don't like the high prices, but as usual, they'll deflect and blame the Democrats over that. But these things we talk about are not really hypothetical. They're actually policy driven, and that's how you do it. Um, is a big thing. Um, Chocolate Pearl, would you rather have national security, or we just do war and war and war and war until we don't war no more?
National security.
Okay, so saying that, if the president did frame the strikes as that he's doing a preemptive strike on Iran to, tell them that they, y'all better not attack Israel, but that's another story. Um, Big Dabs, what do you think?
Um, wow, that I well with attacking Israel or attacking.
Well, no, attacking Iran, saying that it's for our national security as well as Israel's.
Oh yeah, we know that's not true. And it's hard, because as you said earlier, he deciphers what. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason, and he does stuff that doesn't make any sense. Those it's kind of hard to put a perspective to that. You know, his thinking, and it was stupid, didn't make any sense. It was funny because I had this kid at school today, and like I said, these kids are getting more involved in it. He come talking about oh, yeah, we talked. One of the other kids said, yeah, what do you think about the attack in Iran? I said, oh, it's one of those things that shouldn't happen, and it happened. One of the other boys yelled, oh, if Kamala Harris would have won, we would have attacked sooner. I'm like, I don't understand. What are you saying? Kamala Harris wouldn't attack. Doesn't even make any sense. Well, they would attack us because she's a woman and they don't like women. I'm like, dude, okay. Anyway, we're not going to get
This was
this
a
conversation.
third. This kid had to be no more than 13, 14.
Right, middle school, yeah. And I'm thinking, where did
Yeah.
you get this information? It's like, yeah, they don't like women, so they would attack sooner. Well, they didn't attack us. They got. He said now he's talking about they got this on the inside. And they got these people here, and they're attacking the inside. I'm like, no, they're attacking other bases, military bases around the world, but there has been no attack here. There was no reason to attack them. They're just trying to, I told them they're just trying to get rid of the regime. And it is not because so their country could take over, so they could take over. It's the problem. That's what they want. Not so the people of Iran will, get back in control, and so they can
Well,
have.
I think a more secular Iran is a better Iran, because trust me,
Oh
I've
yeah,
been spitting distance, and I
oh yeah.
know.
Well, yeah, I understand. I believe that and understand that, but for our Cheeto Puff in the White House, he there's no rhyme or reason for what he's doing. So, and it's for his sake, or for what he's trying to say is for our sake, or Israel's sake, which is not.
And
It's
that's
all
not, they talking about they can't afford health care, but we giving money to other countries like that.
right,
And that's on
right.
both sides been saying
Don't
that,
make yeah,
but make that make sense.
yeah,
One of the things also that's going to say, we just talked about this, was the economic ripple effects.
right,
Experts highlight the risk of oil shocks and broader economic instability, which we already talked about that. Um, economic anxiety tends to weigh heavily in this time. It's the economy, stupid, and a downturn could hurt the Republicans, which and we already talked about that. Um, Now, I know I'm not even going to ask this question, but I'm asked the question: Is the president being proactive or reactive?
Can it be both?
Yes, but you got to explain. Got to
That boy, he
explain,
been
Lucy.
reacting.
Go ahead, Big Al. Was that was you?
Oh no, that was
No,
Dabs.
I said
Oh,
he's been reactive. He's proactive for him is not a is I don't even think that's in his vocabulary or in his mindset. He just
Okay,
acts.
okay.
He's
What about
being he's being he's being reactive and distracted, trying to
Destructive. Destructive.
dis-
I believe that one
trying to
alone.
distract, trying to distract.
Yeah,
He being
yeah,
distractive and reactive. How about that?
we be making
and
up,
Distractive.
wind
we
up
be
being
making up
destructive.
words. Yeah, we definitely be making up words. What about you, Miss Dreen? How you doing? Looks like you on the road, so I'll pass it back. Um, but Big Al, what do you think? Was he reactive in your military experience, or was he proactive?
He was reactive. I mean, we all know that Iran had no capability to attack the United States. The missiles and the capability they have is regional, so it had no direct impact on the United States. And since he and Hegseth and Raising Cain got on the TV 8 months ago, we obliterated all of their nuclear capability. It's gone. How in the hell did it get rejuvenated in less than 8 months? So that is fracking bull, like Michael Basin. So so this dude is reacting to the negative publicity as these Epstein files get more and more exposed and more people are apologizing. Bill Gates and other people who are coming out. And now that President Clinton and Hillary have gone and given depositions and have testified, they said, hey, why can't I don't call her Melania, I call her Melanie. Why can't Bone Spurs and Melanie Trump? Why can't they go and testify?
Right.
So he's doing all this stuff to cover up his crap. And I mean, Israel is taking a pretty heavy beating, all of our bases throughout the Middle East. And I spent 12 years in CENTCOM and Third Army, so I know all those bases very well. And they are blowing up multi-billion-dollar satellite systems over there, the Iranians. So, and we're using $4 million a pop missiles to shoot down drones that cost less than $20,000. So where does that make a whole lot of sense? And plus, we're shooting down our own aircraft through friendly fratricide. So it's just a mess. It was uh, not properly planned. We got an idiot who's the Secretary of War who has no clue, and we're doing this stuff off of a whim to cover up his shenanigans, and God help us. I don't know when this will ever end and what the actual outcome could be. How do you bring this to closure? Because you done stirred up a hornet's nest in Iran, and now we're going to have to eat crow and go back begging to stop the war. We got U.S. citizens in all those countries that are stranded. And Bone Spurs and Marco Rubio is saying, well, there ain't nothing we can do. Y'all just stay in place. We can't evacuate you. And you and I both know, DFG, that we always have emergency evacuation plans and contingencies to get our embassy staff and critical Americans out during times like this. So it's a mess.
Yes, yes, non-combatant evacuation operations. I
Yep.
know those very well. Um, I'm gonna show a video. I'm gonna show you another video. Just give me a second. And this one, y'all, this one I call um your boy. So listen up.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government.
Trump made regime change an explicit goal, really for the first time. And U.S.-Israeli military strikes have taken out the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran. So it's a huge moment in
Can you turn it up?
a huge moment for Donald Trump because he came to office promising wars. He said
regime change is a proven
That's about as high as it'll go.
failure.
And now he finds himself not only using power to start another war in the Middle East, but pursuing the exact kind of regime change he once scorned. So how did Donald Trump change his message from no new wars to regime change? I've covered the White House for most of the last 30 years. I often try to compare presidents. In this case, I think we're comparing the same president to himself. Long before he was even a candidate, Trump was expressing these ideas that we shouldn't be going to war with Iran. In fact, back in 2011, he taped a video, it's now been deleted, in which he accused Barack Obama of plotting to attack Iran.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate.
Candidate Trump offered a different vision. No more wars. America first.
We will stop racing to topple foreign and you understand this. Foreign regimes.
Trump, of course, came into office with not a single day in the military or in public office. The only president, by the way, in our history with no such experience. And like a lot of presidents who were new, he seemed to feel a little uncomfortable with the use of military force at first. He wanted to pull troops home from South Korea, Germany, the Middle East. And he had a lot of career military officers and establishment Republicans around him who constrained some of his more radical impulses. One turning point came in 2020 when he ordered the strike that killed General Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Quds force in Iran and sponsor of terrorist actions all across the region. A lot of people said if you do this, you're going to provoke Iran into massive reprisals or maybe trigger a regional war. But Iran's response to that was modest. A small, relatively ineffectual missile attack, and what...
Well, that's interesting. So he went from, why do you think he went from, no wars to I want to blow stuff up? What do you think, that Big Dabs?
Yeah. Because that's what he talked about prior to this whole thing. His last round, he's going to be Mr. Peacemaker. It's again, it's well, part of it is trying to throw the scent off the Epstein files. It's just so much going on, and it's the worst part about it is nobody knows what he's doing. He can't even figure it out himself. So that's the worst. That's the worst thing. It's just it's all a distraction.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a big old distraction. It's a big old distraction, and that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. What, Miss Sumsum, you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
So what do you think about him going from not war to kill everything that moves?
It can't be any more obvious. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. It is just more of a testament to how clueless this president is, and how he's doing all of this stuff thinking that he's shifting the focus, but people are not buying it. They're over it. You know what I'm saying? It damage is done. And so, like I said, they got their foot on his neck. They ain't letting up. He can, say what he want. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some more shocking stuff coming up here in the future. Uh, I'm almost willing to bet on it. And, we all just sit back watching the circus, pretty much. This is just Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey at this particular point. And we just got
Don't
the
insult
popcorn.
Ringling Brothers on that because he's more of a clown. He's too much of a clown. Don't be insulted.
Exactly. Exactly. So we all got the popcorn over here. We just, knowledge is power. And, clearly this gentleman is not educated. And I don't even know how it even got this far, but it's just
Money.
let this be a lesson. Everything is a lesson, and we all have to learn from it. It doesn't matter how rich you come across, because technically I heard he wasn't really worth that much, but uh education is everything. When you step into these positions, you have to know your subject matter, and you have to be versed in a lot of these, subjects. And if not, they're gonna catch on real quick. The educated ones, for the most part. You can pull the wool over a lot of people's eyes, but it's just this is just a clown show, man. And I'm just sitting back. I just can't wait for him to go. I'm looking forward to the future when he's out and they can just undo all the damage that this man has caused.
Definitely understand. That's one of those things that, I don't know if 2028 is going to be a positive thing, in my opinion. The way we're going, we might not even be the United States next year. How it seems to be going now. I'm not going to be super duper negative, but I mean, y'all tell me, is the country going in the right direction? I said, Dreen, are you back? Are you back? Are you out the car? Or are you still driving?
I'm still driving, but I can respond. I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I do not feel the country is going in the right direction, but I'm not sure if it was ever going in the right direction under our current administration. So maybe it's good that he finishes destroying it so that when we do have to rebuild, and believe me, we're going to have to rebuild, we can't rebuild the same way. So hopefully we'll have to do things differently and better.
Better how? What do you suggest to make things a little better?
I mean, I think we have to look at putting more structural equity in place, not this fake America first and all types, because you're seeing now where a man alone can't stand on its own. So everybody now is realizing that it was the myth of this whole America greatness thing. And he's just putting that to the light where soon our currency is going to go down because people are divesting. And you already see, you were basically dog led into war by Israel. So were you really the superpower, or was it that they had so much on you, you were compromised? So you better do what Israel says. So
Yeah,
it's just interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch how we get ourselves back together after he finishes toppling this mess.
I appreciate you on that. I definitely appreciate you. Yeah, but that's just how you know, he was talking about regime change, yet the president of Russia is still the president of Russia. He ain't trying to change. He ain't trying to change his. He ain't trying to change his
Yeah,
backer. That's all.
yeah, but that's because they have the Epstein files too. What you have to realize is just because we're not putting them in the forefront, all these other countries know about his child molesting, perverted ways. And just like he's trying to escape it here, they're holding it over his head from afar. So he better do as they say.
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms. I probably wind up getting demonetized if I talk about that. So I will leave that one alone. Go ahead, Big Al.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going in the wrong direction, but I am optimistic that we're going to retake the House and the Senate during the midterms, and that'll make him a lame duck. The problem is he's done so much damage that a lot of the damage is going to take 10 to 20 years to correct that damage with all the stuff that RFK Jr. is doing and the Centers for Disease Control in terms of research and development. It's going to take forever to rehire people and to get the resources necessary to get us back on track there. When you look at the Department of Education, the way they've gutted that out, and not only are they firing people, but they're taking away the infrastructure, the computers, all the networks, all the things that people within the Department of Education were able to use to do their job, as well as the CDC and other critical agencies. So a lot of it is going to take 10 to 20 years to fix.
I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead, Miss Sum.
No, I just wanted to mirror what Miss Dream said. Um, One of the key things that she said is because they got something on him. And I just want to say that, I was looking at a post. I don't know how true it's not, and I'm just going to throw out the word allegedly. That was one of the reasons why they killed the leader of that cartel down there is because he was trafficking children, and a lot of the people in the US had ties to that world, that ugly world. And so I believe he was going to expose something, and the powers that be got together and took him out. And
Well,
so it seems like a lot of people now that got something over these high ranking people's heads, they are they going after them. And you seeing a lot of these people slowly stepping down, or they're dying.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's really nothing I can say after that one. That's, I mean, it's compelling without the super hard evidence. It's still it's compelling enough to say that. Chocolate Pearl, what do you think about what Miss Sum said?
I agree with her wholeheartedly. It's a big cover up. It's oh, let me save my tail. Let me figure out how. It's just like the mob. Every time the mob get caught, and they have to put people in hiding, they go looking for them because they know that they know something that can get them more in trouble, and that's basically what happened. That's basically what something similar to what some said, as well as the stream.
I'm gonna throw y'all a curveball. Do you think Diddy's where he is because he knows stuff?
Bingo. Yes, sir.
Yep,
Yes, sir. I think he
yep.
had a little bit to do with that too. I think he's in there. See, the name of the game is, I don't know if y'all seen that, but part of they had I guess like a documentary, not a documentary, but a little type of movie type thing about Trump and how he grew up and how his parents were and all of that stuff. And one of the main things that they focused on in that show was the lawyer that Trump had coming up in the city and things of that nature. And what the lawyer did was, and it's just like it's crazy. The lawyer would have parties. He would invite these high-ranking people and these dignitaries and the celebrities and all of these people in the spotlight and have these wild parties, and each one of these rooms had videos in them. And he would catch them in compromising situations. And this lawyer was known to be a shark. But if he found himself losing, he would whip out those tapes and people would back off. And, so that was in that story of Trump way back then with the lawyer. And so here it is, the thing with Diddy, having these parties, doing all of this stuff. You hear him having videos in these rooms. It's the same MO. It's just Epstein having these parties, doing stuff, videos in the rooms. It's just, I don't, it's just obvious. It's blatantly obvious. So it's a pattern. It's just a pattern. You hear Hollywood, you know, uh R&B singers and all this stuff and initiation, and the whole name of the game is I'm going to put you in a compromising position. You're going to blow up, get that money, and I'm always going to have something on you if I need to call on you. If I need something from you, if I, wherever. I mean, he had people in Hollywood execs, and it's crazy, and it's out there, and I don't know why people are just, well, I'm not going to say they brushing it off because they know, but that's what I'm saying, they staying on that net. It's the same MO.
But you gotta look at it. I look at it like this, and I'm not going to disagree with you on that. Um, Power protects power, and as you know, everybody up there in that certain level, they're gonna have dirt on them. I don't care who you are. You can't be a billionaire, millionaire, and be clean. You're stepping on somebody. I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that for years. I said I wish I can make $2 billion and not have to crush anybody to do it, but you know, we have not because we ask not, and we don't take advantage of people for the most part. Um, it's this has been a pretty enlightening show, and I appreciate everybody being on tonight. I appreciate my co-hosts, Chocolate Pearl and Apple. I appreciate Big Al. I appreciate Miss Kim, Miss Sum, Big Dabs, Miss Nikki on YouTube, and others that see us on Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, um, YouTube, and Facebook. And I'm trying to get on X, but I don't really think I want X. But I'm gonna shut this one down. Before I do, the Chocolate Pearl, you got anything to add?
You don't need to get on X. That's what I'm going to add. Yeah, everybody have a good night. Thank you for showing up and showing out. Thank you so very much, and see y'all next week.
Apple, I know you got you probably got screaming, probably got two screaming little boys in there. You got anything to say?
I just want to say good night, and I want to thank everybody for showing up, and I appreciate everyone who comes every week, regardless of the topic, and it's always a good show. And y'all have a good
Appre-
night.
Appreciate you. And I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna let my video speak for me. Good night, everybody.